All right. We have town hall regular meeting, March 19th. Can I get a roll call?
Newman present.
Holloway present.
Buda present.
Rosen present?
Ashworth present.
Buckles present. We've established quorum. Can we rise and have a moment of silence? All right. Got, all right, so do we have anybody signed up, Libby? No, actually, we're gonna do, yeah. Okay, got a recognition of visitors. Basically, we got presentations, National Library Week. Anybody wanna make a motion? Somebody want to make a motion for this?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Vice Mayor, for proclamation 2026-0319 for National Library Week.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, it's National Library Week, April 19th through the 25th, 2026. Find your joy. Whereas the library sparks creativity, fuels imagination, and inspires lifelong learning, offering a space where individuals of all ages can find the joy through exploration and discovery. Whereas library serves as a vibrant community hubs, connecting people with knowledge, technology, and resources while fostering civic engagement, critical thinking, and cultural enrichment. Whereas the library provides free and equitable access to books, digital tools, innovative programming, ensuring that all individuals, regardless of background, have the support they need to learn, connect, and thrive. Whereas the libraries partner with the schools, businesses, organizations to maximize resources, increase efficiency, expand access to essential services, strengthening the entire community. Whereas the library empowers job seekers, entrepreneurs, and lifelong learners by providing access to resources, training, and opportunities that support the career growth and economic success. Whereas the library nurtures young minds through story times, STEM programs, and literacy initiatives, fostering curiosity and the love of learning that lasts a lifetime. Whereas the library protects the right to read, think, explore without censorship, standing as champions of intellectual freedom and free expression. Whereas dedicated librarians and library workers provide welcoming spaces that inspire discovery, collaboration, and creativity for all. Whereas the librarians, and the library workers across the country are joined together to celebrate National Library Week under the theme, Find Your Joy. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Council of the Town of Cape Charles proclaim April 19th through the 25th, 2026 as National Library Week and encourage all residents to visit their library, explore its resources, and celebrate all the ways that the library helps our community find joy. Adopted by Town Council of Cape Charles on this day, on this 19th day of March 2026. That's a lot. That's it.
I'll take it and send it to you.
No one's here. All right. All right, public comments. 3 minutes per speaker for topics not subject to the evening's public hearing. So say whatever you want.
Cheryl Foley? Me. It tripped most.
Try my name.
Good evening. My name is Cheryl Mealy, and I'm a resident of Myrtle Landing. On Friday, March 13th, during a meeting with Town Manager Rick Carolian, sorry if I'm not pronouncing, Housing Official Katie Nunez, and Building Official Jeb Brady, Town Manager Rick please tell me.
Caruglian.
Thank you. And Building Official Jeb Brady. Town Manager Rick Caruglian stated to me that the town does not have jurisdiction over Myrtle Landing due to its HUD status and because the property is grandfathered from the 1980s. I understand that the grandfathering may limit required full retrofit to current stormwater design standards. However, grandfathering does not eliminate the town's authority to address current safety and maintenance conditions under the Virginia Maintenance Code and the Virginia Uniform Statewide Building Code. At Myrtle Landing, current conditions include standing water hazards on walkways, water intrusion into units, pest entry through openings, indicators of structural movement, including doors out of alignment, gaps in drywall, floor settlement. These are present safety and maintenance issues, not requests for new code upgrades. Myrtle Landing provides housing for senior citizens and individuals with disabilities. These residents are particularly vulnerable to unsafe conditions, and state-mandated safety standards exist to protect them. I have reviewed public land and regulatory records related to this property. This property is set up with multiple layers of ownership across different entities. That structure provides liability shielding and distributes tax benefits. But it also creates fragmented oversight and dilutes responsibility. In plain terms, it makes it harder to clarify or clearly identify who's responsible, which creates gaps that can be taken advantage of and allows problems to go unaddressed. In this situation, no single responsible party has been clearly identified for oversight, despite multiple agencies being involved. That lack of clear accountability is part of the problem and contributes to the conditions that currently exist. Myrtle Landing is also low-income housing tax credit property, Lit C, subject to federal and state habitability requirements, including 26 U.S. Code Section 42 and 24 CFR 5.703. These requirements mandate safe and sanitary conditions and do not replace local enforcement. Public officials have a responsibility to understand the scope of their authority when Public officials have a responsibility to understand the scope of their authority when residents raise safety concerns. When questions arise, it is the responsibility of town leadership to seek clarification and act accordingly. Based on the applicable codes and conditions present, the town does have authority to address current safety and maintenance issues at Myrtle Landing. Under the Virginia Maintenance Code and the Uniform Statewide Building Code, continued statements to the contrary create confusion and delay necessary action. Given that, I am asking if the town maintains that its role is limited, what steps has the town taken to coordinate with the appropriate agencies, including HUD and Virginia Housing, to ensure that these safety conditions are addressed? Additionally, for the record, I'm requesting clear clarification of administrative oversight. Does Town Manager Rick Caruglian have administrative oversight over the building official, Jeb Brady, including supervision and enforcement practices? If not, please identify the specific person, entity, or governing body responsible for oversight of code enforcement within the town. If this role is not under town authority, please also clarify who employs or contracts that position. I request that this statement and any response be entered into the public record and that a written response be provided within 5 days. Thank you. And everything is in writing here. I've attached the codes. I'll also follow this up with an email that gives direct links to the codes so that you guys can read them.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question? Cheryl, can you tell me how long you lived in Myrtle Landing?
October 21st of '24, and the problems were right from the start,
Were you there, so you weren't there before they did the overhaul?
midway.
Okay.
And that was confirmed by the person that developed that renovation, Cassandra, can't recall her last name, but she was in charge of it.
I was just more curious if you had seen better conditions since the renovation, or if things had deteriorated more since the renovations.
Considering when I showed up, it's hard to determine that based on the pictures. I would love to see what those outside walls look like when they tore down that old,
Plaster or what?
no, the outside,
Siding.
the siding, yeah. Because they did replace that. And being the water intrusion that's happening and the mold that is evident in the walls, I'd love to know what those walls look like. Somebody knows. Somebody had eyes on it and ignored it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Terry Conlon?
Hi,
Good
Terry
evening.
Conti. I live at 5 Palmer's Landing in Bay Creek. This is something that has been bothering me for a long time, and I feel like I can't continue to complain about it without at least saying something. So, with the current change in the speed limit for the impact center, the strip of highway that connects Bay Creek to the town is very, very small. And I know that this has been addressed many times by you guys, but I really think that we can consider changing that speed limit for that small space in order to accommodate the very many and growing number of people in Bay Creek who totally support this town. We shop here, we volunteer here in mass numbers, and I really do think that it will bridge the connection between Bay Creek and the town. That's it.
Are you referencing Casat to,
To the now,
Okay, Charles.
to the
Old
corner
Coach at
there,
five?
because
Right.
it's all
That's the-
25.
that's the small patch
Right.
that you're talking about?
So it's less than a quarter of a mile.
Right.
And it's all town, the whole thing. Bay Creek, Old Town, we're all in the same town. It's-
I agree, 100%.
just-
What I'm saying
It's
is.
the only piece of road that's 35 miles an hour in town.
Exactly, and also, you know, judging by traffic too. I travel back and forth all the time. The traffic is very light. It is no more traffic than the amount of traffic that goes down to the brewery. So concessions have been made before for other reasons, and rightfully so. And I do think that it would be a huge benefit to the growing number of people and to the benefit of the Bay Creekers.
Are you speaking specifically for golf cart traffic?
Yes, well, 25 miles an hour, yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
that's curious.
Yeah.
Because right now, the only way into town is through the back.
Right. And, you know, not that this is your problem, but our homeowners association is gonna have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to upgrade a golf cart path, and it's gonna take a lot of time.
So am I wrong in that when this was first brought to us, considering lowering the speed limit to 25 miles an hour, it wasn't because of the impact center, it was because that was in concert with Bay Creek's plans to build this path that would then lead to, what is that, Stone?
It's all, but you
Old
don't-
Cape Charles
You
Road.
don't need 25 if you have the path, right?
Correct, but the path was, the idea was that they were going to construct this path that would then bring that to let out on Old Cape Charles Road, where we lowered it to 25 there because of their plans to do that. So
The plans
is
have
that
been
not
delayed.
happening, or is that?
The plans have been delayed significantly, and the cost is very impactful. And the path that is currently there is horrible.
Terry, do you know if there's effort afoot to have Bay Creek partner with the town?
It is the
So
town. It
this is
the
just
town.
me
It is the
personally
town. Let's-
speaking.
Let's
Yeah.
clarify this.
Stop.
It's the town. We're
Right,
all
right.
in the same
I'm
town.
talking about
I know.
financial.
The HOA with the
I'm
town.
talking
It's
about
HOA.
HOA
then
Thank you.
say,
Sorry, I
say,
forgot.
I'm just
the HOA.
independently. I did not ask the HOA or anything. It's just that I just feel like,
What was your question,
My
Tara?
question is that the HOA should really be here.
I agree.
Reaching out and partnering, asking for financial partnership from the town for this golf cart path. We have one from, Mason Avenue to the Shanty that we maintain. There's no reason why we can't.
But however-
In tune with what Amy's saying, it's all part of the same town. We shouldn't just have Bay Creek assume the full financial responsibility.
I agree, except that
Sounds like you
a
get-
much less expensive option is to take less than a quarter of a mile of highway that is not highly used, and I have been monitoring this for like the years, okay? No more used than going down to the brewery, and saving everybody a lot of money. And slowing down for an eighth of a mile or a quarter of a mile or less for 10 miles an hour isn't hurting anybody.
I agree.
So-
And I just will say, want to say, you and I have talked about.
Yes, we have.
My issue is not cost or lowering it for that stretch. It's that road is used so much by the large trucks that go down.
No more large trucks, Tara, than go on Stone Road.
Yeah, but we
But it
can't
was-
go onto Stone.
But it was, when we go back to what,
184.
Okay.
when we go back to when this was originally brought up, and this isn't disagreeing, I'm just stating kind of the record kind of facts. But that road, Casat Parkway, was built by and paid for by Bayshore Concrete, the county, and
paid for it.
state.
State
But
paid
as far as to do that for the heavy truck use, that was the primary goal of that road. I don't know that 25 miles an hour is a bad thing for big trucks.
For a truck to slow down?
Like-
I'm not comfortable with golf carts sharing the road.
I think that was the issue that came up. It
But
has
I-
nothing to do with
I
lowering
have to
them.
say again, okay?
So-
I travel that road every day, so many times a day. Show me the big trucks, okay? There are no more big trucks on that road than the other 25-mile-an-hour roads in this town. So, it's just, I just felt like I've been saying this and I've never come forward, and I just felt that it was important that I bring this to you.
And I'm glad you did, and I think it's a great point of conversation, and I would love for someone to reach out to the HOA and get them in here too, to really advocate for this issue, so
Okay.
that it's not just one person.
Okay.
I might know
That's the way it will
that.
get done.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much
so
for
much.
hearing
Thank
me.
you, Terry.
Anything else? All right. Consent agenda. Can I get approval of the agenda format?
Mr. Vice Mayor, I'd like to propose that we add a new item 9C, a resolution confirming the town hall's physical address.
I got a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Can I get approval of the minutes?
So moved.
Second?
All right, can I also get a approval for the January 2026 financial report?
Also move?
All right, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. No unfinished business, let's move on to some new business. Cape Charles Board Annual Reports.
Good evening. It's that time of year we come to you annually with all of the boards that the Planning and Zoning Department staffs, and we have some of the chairmen with us in attendance this evening, so I'd like to call Bill Strand forward. He's going to make the presentation of two of the reports this evening for the Planning Commission and the Board of Zoning Appeals, and you have those annual reports in your packet as well.
Thank you, Katie.
Fun to read.
Good evening. I'm Bill Stram, 302 Arnie's Loop. First of all, I want to thank the town of Cape Charles staff and the town council for your great support to at least the BZA and the Planning Commission in 2025. I'd also like to thank board members of the BZA and commissioners on the Planning Commission for their support to your to their boards and to the commission and to the town staff. First is BZA. We did a little bit more activity in 2025. We met 6 times, but took action on 5 applications. Bay Creek fence variance was a 10-foot variance down by the maintenance shed. That was approved. Dreams by the Water, they wanted gave them a 10-foot reduction in the front setback, and we denied the 10-foot reduction in the rear setback. We upheld the zoning administrator and denied an ADU as an STR at 542 Jefferson. We had a rear deck variance of 1.5 feet into the side and 5 feet in the rear approved. And we upheld the zoning administrator's decision and denied the use of houseboat as an STR. That was it for the BZA. Planning Commission.
No, before you go on, there's a table in there that has the attendance. It's on page 3, and 2 individuals have an XX, and I don't know if that should be a P or V or whatever. I'm not sure what X represents.
It should have represented an A and an A. They were
An A, okay, so you can correct that. That's all it is.
All right. Planning Commission. Spent a lot of time on proposed changes to the Chesapeake Bay Preservation Act overlay, which I believe is on your agenda tonight. We had a public hearing for a CUP of non-conforming fence at E&O Pub. We voted unanimously to recommend approval. We had a public hearing for an amended CUP for Fig Street Inn for bicycle rental, gift shop, EV charging stations, and we voted unanimously to recommend approval. She withdrew after that. Public hearing for a zoning map amendment for Seabreeze from R1 to R3, and a zoning text amendment providing required 3-acre lot minimum for a multifamily project development. We voted unanimously to recommend approval on that one. We had a public hearing for a CUP for the comprehensive sign plan for Dreams by the Water. The applicant did not show up and later withdrew the application. And then our last couple of months, we've worked and discussed ADUs as STRs. Any questions? That's it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you all so much for your work.
I'm going to take us a little bit out of order because I have another chairman present this evening, and that's John Schoenig. So he's going to do the Wetlands Board presentation.
Well, I thought he was going to go last.
Good evening there, Council. John Schoenig here, Chairman of your Wetlands Board. First, as Bill reiterated, I'd like to thank Katie and Jack from the Planning Department for their outstanding support throughout 2025. As you note from our report, we are down one member, Alan Clark, who shifted over to the Planning Commission. So we still have one opening on the board as well. As far as our proceedings last year, we had one meeting, and we also conducted a site visit over to Coastal Precast regarding an application, I believe, still pending with some work for the Key Bridge up in Baltimore. And so they're still working on the change to their request. And other than that, basically just some by right approvals by the Wetlands Board was the sum of our work in 2025. Any questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, John.
And then for the last two boards, for the Historic District Review Board, Kathy Glazer is the chairwoman, and Elizabeth Wright is our vice chair. I will note here, we do have a vacancy on the board. That was from Patricia James, and she resigned a few months ago. We're about to have another vacancy on this board as well, which is Ken Monarch. He's made it clear to us that he would like to step away by June. So we really need your efforts to secure replacement appointees for this board, because I have to have 3 out of 5 be in attendance to have a quorum. So I'm about to come down to every member must show up from here on out. And that's never always a good position to be in. So with that said, this has been an extremely active board. Out of all of your boards, there is always ongoing application activity for the Historic District Review Board. Part of what we are required to do is actually a report that goes to the state that details the training that both the staff and the board membership receives. We've provided you a list of all of that training that is required for us to do. We've also...
It's pretty impressive, by the way.
And this is, yeah, they don't get paid for this stuff, so. With that said, we've also given you the attendance report for this board as well. And again, this is a board that is very active, and we're glad to have as much active participation as we do have from all of the membership, and we really thank them for their time in doing this. Lastly, we gave you a breakdown as to how we look at the applications that are coming through. So we did have only two fence applications that required going to the board as a whole to look at, not that I could do it administratively. We had no minor applications of renovation for the board's consideration, nor modifications of previously approved certificates of appropriateness that they had to take up. They did have quite a few renovations, additions, and new construction applications. You can see the entire list. We did only have one, what was an after the fact, which means we had a violation, and that was how we got them into compliance, was achieving an after the fact permit approval. And we had one oddball application that was out there. I can't remember exactly what it was for, but we listed as an other because it was not a normal thing we would take up. Overall, the Historic Board took up 36 applications for the course of the year. Again, they've come down a little bit, but that's still a very active and healthy amount of development activity that they are seeing. Most importantly, through the changes we made to the Historic District guidelines and our zoning ordinance relative to the Historic District overlay, where we moved a lot of approvals to come under my authority, that number is still continuing to increase. I approved 48 applications under the administrative authority that I have at this point. Those are all detailed out. As well, within that administrative approval, again, 2 of those were violations that resulted in after-the-fact approvals to bring them in compliance.
Did that help reduce the board's work?
Yes, because normally that number would have all been combined together for the board to see all of that, which would have been
Good.
84 applications if it had been the other way.
Good.
So,
Katie, I want to say, I think the layout of this is great. I really like, it's very easy to follow. It's wonderful. And I think for folks who have been, at least been around for a little while, when you see only 2 things being denied, and you know, people should get off the HDRB doesn't let you do anything, clearly if you can get things approved, so.
yes, yes. And we will be adding to next year, because we now have real historical context, a bar chart that tracks it for 3 years, and we're going to continue to give you the year-by-year summary to see it in mass. So
Good.
we're getting better at presenting the information to you. So I thank Tracy in particular in my office, because she is the staff person dedicated solely to staff the Historic District Review Board. I am there as well. Jack will fall in to assist where needed, but Tracy is really the one on deck handling all these applications. Her memory and retention of every application is phenomenal. People they come up to me and they talk about these properties, and I'm like, I don't remember your house from that house. I'm sorry, there's too many. And then I deal with Bay Creek as well. It's way too many that I can't remember. Her memory is phenomenal. I really appreciate all she does for this board. So that's it for the Historic Board.
Can I ask you one question?
Yes.
Are there any areas of the guidelines or our existing ordinances that you feel you see recurring, that you feel are just unfair? I don't want to say broken, but just feel things that come up where you're like, sorry, but this is what the guidelines say we are supposed to do, and that's the way it is. And if I were to give you a specific example, in our Appendix G conversations, it came up that if you had a few shutters blow off of your house, that you wouldn't necessarily be able to just replace them as they were. You would have to then live by current guidelines, that they would have to appear at least operational, and that somehow doesn't seem to jive with a mid-century modern ranch or something like that, that is not a historic property and doesn't seem like it's in line with what should be decided upon. It's a very broad question, but I think you get what I'm
It is a broad but
asking
specific
you.
question, and probably outside of tonight's presentation to you. I know there are items coming forward to you of some zoning text changes for the historic district overlay and guidelines that we're trying to get scheduled for a work session with you. That's probably where we should park
Okay.
that item to be discussed and raised.
Awesome.
Raised and discussed.
In other words, tweaking.
Yeah, yeah.
And then lastly, from the Harbor Area Review Board, they had no meetings last year. Stuart Smith is the chairman for that board, and he asked me to actually read a little statement in, so if you may indulge. I want to take this opportunity to thank the members of the Harbor Area Review Board for participating and supporting any actions that may come before the Harbor Area Review Board. The Cape Charles Harbor and Harbor District are extremely important resources of Cape Charles' future economy and vitality. I expect that we will see a significant increase in actions to review over the coming years and beyond. It is my hope that each of you will take time to visit the harbor, especially during our very active boating season, and continue to be strong advocates for future developments aligned with our core values. Sincerely, Stuart Smith, Chairman of the Harb. And I don't wish to say that they have not been active and engaged. The Harbor Area Review Board has representation on the Harbor and Railroad Master Planning process. They're on the project team, so they have been engaged with the town. They just have been fortunate or unfortunate, depending on how you look at it. No applications for development have come in for them to take up in the last year. That's all.
Katie, I noticed on the board members, you have Bill Ashworth, term expired in 2024. Do we need to extend him? He's a planning commission rep.
It actually, we should have made that fall concurrent with his planning commission term. We just needs to update that. So they're okay at this point for staying on. I do know, we've always felt at some point when we were finished with the master planning process of the Harbor Railroad component project, that we may end up revising how the Harbor Area Board sits as its own standalone board, and should it be rolled into something different. So with that said, that's all I have for their presentation of staff reports.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions, anybody? All right, so, God. It didn't give me you were next, but zoning text amendment, the
Yes.
Chesapeake Bay Act.
It's zoning text amendment 2026-01, Chesapeake Bay Preservation Act. Again, we have been working on this as just alluded to by our planning commission chairman. That board, as well as you, have seen this a couple of times. We've been working on revisions to the Chesapeake Bay overlay ordinance, and also additional sections within our ordinance that get impacted, specifically Appendix A for definitions and Appendix C, the site plan ordinance. This is all coming about because the state revised the Chesapeake Bay Act 2 years ago. Following that, it took them another year to get through to develop their internal administrative procedural changes and then roll that out to the localities. They've provided a draft model ordinance for our consideration. We've worked on that over the last year of incorporating that model ordinance to reflect to the specific needs of the town of Cape Charles. We are now ready for you to hopefully accept the proposed zoning text amendment as your application and give authority to the staff to roll it out for public hearing process at next month's, both to the Planning Commission and to you at the April calendar, for hopeful adoption after that at some point with whatever tweaks or revisions you wish to make to it from that. I did want to note that one of the components that we are still working on to comply with the state requirements and what they have put forward, because we are under a order with them to resolve certain non-compliance issues. We've been at that for about a year now with them. They want us to map elements of the Chesapeake Bay area, specifically the Resource Protection, or RPA, and the Resource Management area of RMA. as an aside, I've now been engaged with conversations with the county. I think we're close to being able to reach an agreement that we can, with a cost share component, ride off of their contract of GIS services. And that vendor will host Cape Charles data layers for us, and they will do the mapping of the RPA and RMA to get us in compliance with the Chesapeake Bay Act as well. So I think I'm gonna have those map issues coming forward here in the next couple of weeks to the town manager to sign off on, and I think we'll have it rolled out before the end of this fiscal year. Yay, yay. Anyway, I digress a little bit, so I apologize.
They clap the next one. Just gotta say.
So with that said, I apologize. I seem to have failed twice in trying to get you the correct document for your resolution of intent today or earlier this week. So I think the corrected one has been provided to you now for your consideration.
So it says right here. So can I get a,
Well, before you go ahead, two questions. Two questions. One, the resiliency assessment. We had water quality in there, now we're inserting resiliency. Do you see it as a detriment or impediment to development or not?
Which, the resiliency or the water quality?
Well, resiliency, now that we're adding that component, because that is a pretty expensive undertaking.
Yes.
And do you see people decide to walk away rather than?
I do not know, but it is a mandate from the state.
Yeah, I understand, I'm just asking your opinion. Will you expect anybody to?
There still are areas in our town that are called, what are identified on the map as IDA, or intensely developed areas. They are pre-development parcels prior to the town and the federal government and the state adopting and having the Chesapeake Bay Act. And so they are exempt from certain provisions of the Chesapeake Bay Act. So, for example, right around the harbor, there's several parcels over there that are exempt from having to comply with the Chesapeake Bay Act.
How about the parcels along Washington and Bay?
They are not exempt from it, but that corner parcel, where there's gonna be two homes on that on the corner of Washington Bay, they went for variance under the Bay Act and achieved it, to receive what's called an exception. You would know it as a variance, but in the Bay Act terminology, they call it an exception process.
Okay.
Yes.
The other question I have is, legal reviewed this?
Legal reviewed it more than a year ago, so they'll review it again. I didn't want to send it to them until you guys were okay with this.
Okay.
So, okay.
so can I get a motion for resolution of intent 20260319?
So moved?
Second, all right. All right, so proposal zoning text amendment 2026-01, application from the town of Cape Charles to amend Article 3, Section 3.3E. Whereas Section 15.2-2286A 7 of the Code of Virginia requires the amendment of the zoning ordinance shall be initiated by resolution of the local governing body, a motion of the planning, an emotion of the planning commission, and, or in the case of zoning district map amendments, by application of the landowner or landowner's authorized agent. Boy, it's gonna drive me crazy. And whereas section 15.2-2285B of the Code of Virginia provides that no zoning ordinance shall be amended or reenacted unless the governing body has referred the amendment or reenactment to the local planning commission for recommendations. And whereas whereas Cape Charles, the town council finds that the public necessity, convenience, general welfare, and good zoning practices require that the zoning text amendment be considered based on a model ordinance provided by the Virginia Department of Environmental Quality concerning the Chesapeake Bay Preservation Act, which has been reviewed, discussed, tailored to specific development patterns and geographic location of the town of Cape Charles. Whereas said proposal revisions of Article 7, the Chesapeake Bay Preservation Act Overlay District, and associated changes to Appendix A definitions and Appendix C site plan bring the ordinance into compliance with the state law concerning the Chesapeake Preservation Act. Now, therefore, be it resolved for the purpose of public necessity, convenience, general welfare, and good zoning practice, the Cape Charles Town Council hereby adopt a resolution of intent to consider amend the Cape Charles zoning ordinance, amended Articles 7, Chesapeake Bay Preservation Overlay District, associated changes, Appendix A definitions, and Appendix C site plan. Said zoning text amendment 2026-01 is referred to the town, to the Cape Charles Planning Commission to convene and requisite public hearing and public notifications, which may be done jointly between Cape Charles Planning Commission and Cape Charles Town Council, for the Cape Charles Planning Commission to prepare its recommendation on said zoning text amendment 2026-01 for Cape Charles Town Council consideration, adopted by the Town Council of Cape Charles on March 19, 2026.
And if I may, Mr. Mayor, just to interject, or Vice Mayor, I should have corrected the header as well. It's not Article 3 that we're amending in the header, it's Article 7, Appendix A and C. At the very top, yeah. I apologize for that. I copy template to template and I sometimes forget the headers.
Changed it. All right. All right, let's go on to,
Here we go.
oh, sorry, roll call. I knew that.
You're just happy to celebrate
Yeah.
that you're finished with the reading.
This is the way they word these things. It's not to try to get me. So can I roll call vote?
Newman, yes.
Holloway, yes.
Beauty, yes.
Grossman, yes.
Ashworth, yes.
Buckholz, yes. All right, so now we're going to go on to the new item 9C. This is,
Libby.
well, it has you listed. So basically, we have to change the town address. You need some water?
He just stepped out for a second.
I found out on Monday afternoon that SAMS is our government website for federal grants, and they are requiring a resolution to be adopted by council to confirm our legal physical address.
That's why we need to ordinance.
And they needed something, he's tried sending them a copy of the bank statements and things like that, but they said it's not.
You want this tongue twister? You want to do this tongue twister?
read it?
Yeah. Two's enough.
Okay, Town of Cape Charles Resolution 2026-0319B, a resolution confirming the official physical address of Cape Charles Town Hall as 412 Tazewell Avenue, Cape Charles, Virginia 23310. Whereas the Town of Cape Charles relocated its municipal administrative offices and town hall operations to a leased facility located at 412 Tazewell Avenue, Cape Charles, Virginia 23310. And whereas town staff officially began operating from this location on October 27, 2025, and the facility now serves as the primary location for municipal administration and delivery of town services. And whereas it is necessary for official town records, legal documents, governmental correspondence, public notices, and other administrative purposes, that the town council formally confirm the official physical address for the municipal corporation of Cape Charles. And whereas the confirmation of this address will ensure consistency across municipal documents, intergovernmental communications, public records, and state and federal filings. Now therefore be it resolved by the town council of the town of Cape Charles, Virginia, that the official physical address of the Cape Charles Town Hall is hereby confirmed as 412 Tazewell Avenue, Cape Charles, Virginia 23310. Be it further resolved that this address shall be recognized as the official location of the municipal corporation of Cape Charles for all governmental, administrative, and legal purposes unless amended by future action of the town council. Adopted by the town council of the town of Cape Charles, Virginia, this 19th day of March, 2026.
Roll call vote.
No, I'll make a
Motion.
motion
That
to
we
adopt the resolution as just read.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Oh, but it's roll call vote, right? So, sorry.
Newman, yes.
Holloway, yes.
Beauty, yes.
Grossman, yes.
Ashworth, yes.
Buckholz, yes.
I know you did good. You did good. It's just like when you point, it's like,
You. Orchestra. Yeah. All right, we're on to town manager comments.
Yeah, I just got a couple things. I've spent this week with my staff going through the strategic planning retreat data and notes. We only spent 4 or 5 hours, so going back through that takes a lot of time. And we do have a draft, however, I still have other department heads gonna look at it before I give it to you all, before we have a meeting to review it again and then adopt that plan. So that's that, so it's coming. Bob, would you give an update? Bob's gonna give us an update on, let's see.
Mason Avenue.
Yeah, Mason Avenue.
So,
Mason Avenue. Could be light bulbs.
so you recall a series of meetings, you provided direction to concentrate on the western end of Mason Avenue so that we can take advantage of the county tourism grant that Main Street obtained. I think it was a $50,000 grant. And a priority to start engineering an electrical upgrade to Strawberry Street. Of course, that is going to be a next year project, next fiscal year project. So we put out for bid, I gave you one right there.
yeah, thank you.
So we put out an IFP for bid for that infrastructure from Bay Avenue to Harbor Avenue, and we had a bid alternate in it to do the next block going east from Harbor Avenue to Pine Street. And we got the bids in yesterday, and we got a very good bid. I want to review this with you. I'll say up front that the bid is within the town manager's approval authority to award. But we wanted to do a little temperature check with you to make sure that you were good with going to Pine Street. So I've provided a little status report here. The first section at the top represents things that we've already committed to buy. Some have been expended with deposits or obligated by contract. The total's a little over $28,000. The bids we got in, you can see them there in the second section. The proposed contract award would be $36,000. Base bid, as I said, from Bay to Harbor, bid alt 1 from Harbor to Pine. And we had actually, the contractor gave us a voluntary bid alternate number 2 to do a new electrical feed from the south side of Mason Avenue, where we're relocating the power for the restrooms to those 2 blocks. And that would isolate those 2 blocks currently from the power drop that we have because of the undersized wires. So it's a really good idea. We have 2 blocks on one circuit, 2 blocks on another circuit.
I'm gonna need you to give that to me in layman's terms. I'm not sure where you're talking.
We're not adding more power to Mason Avenue.
It just says south side of Mason,
South side is Mason.
you're gonna put more power to go down just 2 blocks.
No. We have, the pier lights in the restrooms were powered off of the pump station. And per the agreement with VAW, we had to relocate that service. So that service is being relocated to the restrooms so they can bore a wire underneath the street to the north side and power those 2 blocks from there. Currently, all 4 blocks on the north side are powered from behind Bailey's.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, so it isolates 2 blocks, and we just abandon what's under the road at Pine Street, which is all hosed up. So anyway, that's $36,000. We do have to take down 2 trees, one in front of 117 Mason. I was wrong. I thought it was 1.5 foot of clearance there. I measured it today. It's 14 inches. So that tree's got to go.
Where's the 117 Mason?
117 Mason is just west of E&O, there's a, what's in that building? There are
Chiropractor?
Yeah, chiropractic condos above. Yeah, right at that corner.
Oh,
it's-
right, mm-hmm,
yeah, 14 inches clearance,
wow,
gigantic.
yeah.
You know, It's big, big
That's the
tree.
one in between Eno and.
Yeah,
Yeah, that building.
it's kind of right on that corner.
Yeah, I know what tree.
And then the other one is a big crepe myrtle right in front of E&O. And we have, we only have 3 feet of clearance there to get by. So they would have to be taken down. We have not gotten quotes on that yet, but my estimate is $5,000, about $5,000 a tree to take those down. We'd plant 2 additional trees. And then there are probably 5 planting beds that have to be narrowed up a little bit. So I walked a contractor today to get a quote on that. So another 22, we're in for just over 86K. And we have 164 budgeted. We moved $35,000 for the 3 ADA ramps. So we have 129K available. So we're good.
Good.
Taking the trees will include taking the stumps out.
Yeah, we'll grind the stumps because we want to make it easier to run the conduit. So we're going to grind them at least 2 feet down. Because we have to go 18 inches deep with the conduit. So
That's
if there's
great
no
news.
objections, the town manager will award the contract and we'll be off to the races. That's great.
Great work.
I'm glad they did that too, they're separating that power.
Yeah,
Just one more question.
sure.
At the end of this, will the lamp post be installed?
Yes, we got a better delivery date than anticipated. They're supposed to ship on the 5th of May. So this should come together very nicely. We'll have, we're actually gonna do 7 lamp posts there.
Sweet.
There's one missing on the Harbor Pine block. We have a nice spot for it. So we're gonna be, you know, there might be a week gap, 2 weeks gap, something like that. But we'll work with the contractor to come back and wire the poles and install them. Yeah. So it'll all be done.
Do we vacate and take down the existing streetlight posts? Like between Harbor and Mason, there are.
Oh, yeah,
two-
we just call ANIC and they'll take them down.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you tell me more about, when we say power pedestals?
Yeah.
I mean, I know what a power pedestal is,
They're a
but where
garden
would they be?
pedestal. They're about 2 feet long, spike in the ground. And then there's a outside receptacle box at the top and they wire them up from the bottom.
So where will they be located though? Like-
They'll be located in the planting beds where there are
Okay.
trees to be lit.
Gotcha, that's what I
Yeah.
was hoping.
There, I
for your
attached
golf cart.
to your packet there,
Okay,
the little
sorry.
maps that shows the location of the power pedestals.
not for your golf
And the
cart,
new, and the new lights. And we have, we're waiting for the VDOT permit. They verbally approved it, but they want our $250 check.
Of course.
When they issue it. So,
And Main Street can get the lights that are on the trees taken down so that they can put them on whatever new trees before these.
yeah, we'll take it down.
I think their contract includes them coming and taking them down or
Yeah.
something, but that way they can be preserved.
We'll talk to Main Street about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
This is great.
thank you.
I got more, but let me write this note down.
Right.
So just an update on the bathrooms. I know Tara had asked me about it, and so I did not have, I had taken it off the manager's report. So the lease has been signed, and it's just subject to amendment to add bathroom build-out cost, and that's what we found now is that the build-out cost is going to be less than $250,000.
That's what I figured.
So that is good.
Pipes are right there. It's great.
Owner will deliver the plans for the building permit review, so that's on, soon to be delivered, so.
And we're on target for what date?
July 1st.
Oh, July.
That's the target date. In the meantime, we will have the new trailer set up in the Silver Bullets place by April 1st. That is our target date for that.
That's
All the restrooms will be ready by April 1st.
Good.
For town.
And then the Silver Bullet will be reconditioned.
Reconditioned and most likely moved to the North Beach area, or anticipated, well, no, I apologize. It will be, we would like to put it there, but it will be also used for events, so, Sail Fest and whatever events that need it, but then we would like to kind of keep it at the north end of the beach. We're gonna get a power light or power pole or something put down there so that we can use it. That's be in the budget request that you'll see coming up, but we're kind of making some plans to be able to use it. We can keep it there and then relocate it as needed and put it back there.
Where would it be situated on the North Beach?
I don't know. To be determined. I just had a conversation with Ralph about it today, and so that was his idea. Just to give council an update on trainings, because I know Paul loves to hear about the trainings. We've had no staff changes in the last 30 days, but one of our seasonals has come back already, Jeremiah Camp. So we're excited. He's a great maintenance employee, and he started March 17th, started back. Just specific trainings that our staff, it seems like we've gotten a lot of good stuff going on this last week. Michelle Wash, Katie Lewis, and Jessica Upshur, that are all in the finance department. They are currently at the 2026 FMS Users Conference, and that's our financial software system that we use, but they're all in Myrtle Beach right now going through some training. So very excited for Marion to kind of get them, and she's very proud of that. It's been very delicate at the staff, at headquarters, just because we only have Adrian and Marion, trying to hold down the fort. Jody has completed a training class on disability rights in the workplace by EEOC, and she's did some crisis communication hosted by Versa. Pam also attended a Versa training through Crisis Communications. Casey Quilter, the town's inspector and zoning compliance officer, attended a 3-day class at the Virginia Department of Housing Property Maintenance Inspection Module, and that was in North Virginia, and he's doing fantastic. Library staff has also participated in several webinars and classes this past month, including AI tools in the marketing, library programming with autistic children in emergency drills, and they also attended a social media training held at the Impact Center. Cape Charles Police Department has gone through several trainings, and one is Kingpin to Educator, De-escalation, Cultural Diversity, Human Trafficking, Autism, and Bomb Threat Management. So that's our trainings that they've done. We are on Monday going through our final round of budget assessments of the budget before you guys start seeing that. So that is a marathon all day of going through the departments. So that's looking good. I have, thank you, Ms. Mealy, for coming in to share. I have met with Ms. Mealy formally in a meeting with Jed and Katie. We've talked about the situation. I have called our town attorney to talk through it, and Versa is aware of the situation as well. At this point, I have requested a meeting with their property manager. I've not heard back. Jeb has also sent a request to do an inspection at the unit. He is not going to just go into the unit without their approval and permission to do that. So we're waiting for that approval to kind of go from here on out. But at this point, there's nothing that the town can do. Our job would be looking at violations that would be substantive, where we would have to stop, like remove residents from a unit. And that's not what we're trying to do. There's just not enough from the exterior for us to show violations that would show us to stop something that's going on. So we're taking this very seriously, but at this point, there's nothing from the exterior that would give jurisdiction that there's a violation. So we are waiting to go into the unit in order to see other things, what's going on.
Is there any follow-up if they don't respond? Who do we go to next?
So Jeb has contacted HUD already. They have done several physical walkthroughs of the outside, and they have closed the account both times. So that's
HUD?
where- HUD
HUD
has.
has?
Yeah, their inspections have gone. They have observed and not seen findings that would necessitate a violation that's going on right now. So they've opened a case and then closed both cases. And so that's the latest one, the case has been closed. Jed is still in contact with them, and he is waiting for the property manager to allow them to go into the unit.
Can I ask you a question, Frank?
Yes, ma'am.
Is what you're referring to when Navigate Affordable Housing came and did their inspection on February 17th? I think it was the 17th. Is that what you're referring to as far as HUD coming and inspecting?
I can't confirm that. I'm just looking at
Because they
it.
are the intermediary.
Yeah, I'm talking about just the HUD inspection that took place in January.
All right, you can convene with them after the meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah, so that's just the update. We are just at this point waiting. Yeah. Let's see what else I have. No, that's all I have.
You have to think about the two meetings and the items.
Yes.
Did you,
No, I don't have that.
were you gonna ask?
So we have upcoming meetings coming up, and so we're trying to determine what your capacity is in a meeting. So we have, Libby, I don't have that in front of me. Which are the ones that we're trying to decide?
For the, we have the special event policy, the mobile food or beverage vending ordinance, proposed short-term rental ordinance changes. Those three.
In addition to our budget.
In addition to
Yeah.
the proposed budget.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I missed,
And we have,
I got special
we have
event.
a presentation with Davenport and Company before the budget.
Do we have that scheduled?
Yeah, we have the Davenport Company presentation and then the budget for the work session.
Oh, same
We also
together.
have the mobile food and beverage vending unit ordinance, special event policy, and short-term rental ordinance changes.
So we have three other things to discuss with you, and we're trying to figure out.
Coupling it with the budget, the budget itself takes time.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So
That's-
time-wise, whether we call it a separate meeting for these other items, but I find that's gonna be a long night for some meaningful
Yeah,
topics.
and that's what I'm afraid of. And so what we could do is propose a special call
Special meeting.
on another Thursday,
Yeah.
or the following Thursday. Would that be okay?
That would be, the 9th, April 9th.
Yeah, I think that's the only way
Yes.
you can do
Okay.
it. You know, Davenport and the budget may be
Wrong.
achievable for this.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was what we were just wanting to confirm.
So we'll have the pleasure of each other's company for 3 Thursdays in a row?
Which is pretty typical in, but regular budget season, but we just have.
Half the time it's
yeah.
every
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. And when, do we know, I can't remember, I know we juggled things around, when is the beach master plan
The 16th.
of April?
Yep.
Also, oh,
That's the
Regular
next
meeting.
Thursday.
okay. So that's the same night as Davenport and the budget?
No.
No.
Davenport is the second.
Second, I see, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, we were trying to say, would
Yes.
you have capacity for this on the second? And
No.
Paul says, no, let's move it.
Yes.
So that was the thing, is let's move
Okay.
those three topics to the 9th so that we don't
Yes.
overload the 16th.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Now Clayton gets cranky.
Okay, yeah, that's all I have.
2 items. One, I sent you an update on the House bills now that the session is over and items have either been killed or going to the governors. The one I'll mention is the faith communities stripping the ability to control what is built on that. And what's interesting is there's a House bill and a separate Senate bill that was approved, and they're a little different. Timing-wise, on one requires it to go into the 2027 session and get reapproved. Yet the Senate bill is effective 9/1/26. So we'll see what the governor does when these come clashing together, but that may be one that's impacts. And just looking big picture wise, again, at the state level, the numbers I had here with Faith Communities own over 74,000 acres, which encompasses 22,000 parcels. So you can see it's a rich environment for housing, and therefore that's where this whole thing moved off to, let's move into affordable areas and let Faith Communities build on their own properties. So that one's still being discussed, I guess.
They would be able to do so without adhering to zoning?
Right. There's still site approvals, you know, for, and building permits and what have you, but it removes the ordinance space of, well, setbacks and this and that. The bill already allows
Interesting.
certain limitations that strips away our local, and that's the big fight. You're removing local control. So VML will be telling you to be calling the governor's office to kill these things, because it does strip out local control. And that's the big fight when it comes to housing. You know, who controls? The other thing was traffic study. I sent you also, that's on the Board of Supervisors agenda, that they looked at Route 13 there in the vicinity of YMCA down to Food Line and what have you. And right now, they're not looking to reduce the speed limit until further development occurs. That's all I have.
So going back to, which I was gonna make a comment about lowering the speed limit on Casat Parkway. Is that really, that wouldn't really be our decision, would it? Wouldn't that be something we would request VDOT to look at just
That's
as?
typically how we do it, and that's what
It would be a resolution.
they
Right.
requested VDOT, and they did a
Exactly.
study, and they responded saying,
So just as a little bit of info, I reached out to a couple people on the HOA board at Bay Creek, and they said that there is an existing RFP out right now for that construction of that path, and that they're just trying to resolve one little insurance-related issue as well that's associated with building that path, but it isn't something that's been tabled. That's what I asked. I'm like, is this still on your horizon? They're like, oh, absolutely, it's out for bid right now.
Well, one thing, just to go on about that, I mean, this is being built outside of the HOA. It's being built on, whoever the new, no, is it,
It's all.
It's their property.
is it preserved still? Or,
It's part of BC Dev.
okay, so it's the new guys. So it's being developed on that, but it was one of the things, is it's like, talk about bringing the community together, they're part of the town. So I think there should be some sort of communication or talk between us to, you know, do something.
Well, it's
And
like
even
the-
though I live over there, it doesn't matter, it's still part of town. And we take care of the historic district, we take care of all this other stuff, and they're part of town, they also pay a lot of taxes. So we should be talking about this as a whole to unite the town, because I'm getting tired of talking about saying this neighborhood, that neighborhood, Bay Creek, the town, it's all the town.
And we-
So we should be being part of that,
Sure.
You mean
as a whole.
financially?
Yes, as a whole.
Maybe we could meet at the Coach House for dinner and discuss.
If we could get in?
can we come in?
No, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you.
I mean, if we do write a resolution to reduce it, that little blurb, I mean, that's gonna save everybody money.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
So there's ways around it, so I'm
Okay.
just saying, can you just put the community together.
I've been polite and I've had my hand up twice.
hadn't
So I'm
fin-
just going to interrupt and be obnoxious.
I hadn't
to be able to
finished.
say, well, you had finished, he's finished, and in between, I've raised my hand.
I finished,
So, Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor? Is that what we're doing?
yes.
Okay. The pathway that we have currently, Bay Creek paid for from the Main Street area and to the shanty and the town upkeeps. That was the agreement. So there's already in some ways that we should be able to have a model that is there. You know, when they paid for that path
Oh, Main Street,
and provided, no, not Main Street, just from the Main Street area.
yeah.
not
The
the Main
town
Street,
did.
the organization. The one that, by the train that connects to the shanty was paid for by Bay Creek. The town maintains that. So as far as a bigger picture, so there's a model that exists out there.
I think that's great.
Right.
Very good, historical
Thank you.
information, and I think it's something that should be explored. without
Yes,
doubt.
exactly.
All right, anybody else?
Don't get all quirky on me.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
No, announcements.
No,
Oh,
announcements,
Sorry,
yes.
okay, announcements. All right, March 21st, it's, this Saturday is Cape Charles Day.
Pam,
Well, Pam's back there.
yeah.
What do you want?
You want to
Just-
go over Cape Charles Day? Anything?
So I put some details in the manager's report. I know that people want to see it, but we're going to be meeting, oh, I don't like this.
There you go.
So Cape Charles Day is this Saturday. I know the Rotary is also meeting at 9 a.m. to start the cleanup on Stone Avenue, and then the rest of the people meet, 15 minutes till 10 around the gazebo to kind of get orders to see where we're
on
going.
Bay Avenue.
On Bay Avenue, gazebo on Bay Avenue,
Pavilion.
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 I'm working hard on getting these folks corrected, but
Kinda looks
it's
like a
tough.
gazebo, so.
I know, but that's how we differentiate.
And then people will kind of disperse from there. We'll work for a couple hours until noon-ish. And I believe at 12:30, that's when you all will be cooking, or
I will be cooking.
Andy, Vice Mayor, will be cooking for us.
Do it every year.
Anyone else that wants to join can help Andy. I'm sure he will love that assistance.
Ken does.
And then we'll have some tables set up. So I think in the past we had departments had tables. I said we're not going to do that this year. We're just going to, our staff will be there. We'll be at tables, but we also invited other members and their groups to kind of be represented if they wanted to show up too. So we'll have Civic League and those kind of people, Citizens for Central Park, museum and things like that. They'll be there to kind of talk about things, but it's our way for us to be together and celebrate Cape Charles.
All right, April 2nd will be a town council budget work session. Oh, joy. April 16th, town council regular meeting, and then April 16th, same, we'll have council budget work session following the regular meeting, so that should have been C, D, and D. All right.
I missed being able to make comments. Did I miss that opportunity?
You just did.
No, I was not making a comment then. I was just trying to participate in the conversation.
You may make your comments.
Thank you so much, Andy. Appreciate it. Just to let everybody know, on March 30th, the rescheduled tourism summit is going to be happening at the Impact Center. Over 100 people will be there from up and down the shore. So we're super excited to use that facility. If you haven't been to that facility yet, they're hosting a lot of different sessions. Just keep an eye out on those. I've attended a couple so far. And coming up in the later in May is the Chamber Fest, and they're doing it both on Friday night and Saturday this year. So there's going to be a concert on Friday and then the full day activities on Saturday. So that's coming along really well. And I am representing the Tourism Commission now on the Eastern Shore Chamber of Commerce board, just in kind of two-way streets. So we had some great conversations. The first meeting I participated in was today. We had some great discussions. I think that dialogue's going to help back and forth a lot.
Just one other date announcement, April 4th, we've got the annual job fair. And so we've got about 20 employers at this point who will be there. It'll be at the Impact Center. And this is going to be advertised in the Post and the radio. So we're hoping that if any folks are out there looking for full or part-time employment, that you stop by and speak to some of our employers.
What times?
It will start at 9:30.
I'm not looking for a job. but that's some people I gotta
All right, now can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
I said it this time.